What is going on, everybody? Well, if you've been keeping up on all my end of the year rankings, I already put up my top 10 best and worst of 2025. Now it's time to talk about my top 10 most disappointing of 2025. Now, these are not necessarily the worst of the year. They're just movies that came so close to impressing me, but they just reached down their level of what I thought they were going to be. So, without further ado, we're not going to be talking much. Let's get straight into this list right now. Coming in at number 10 for me is going to be Death of a Unicorn. This is the Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, like, animal unicorn movie, whatever you want to call it, thriller. I did like this movie. Like, it's a film that I didn't hate or generally dislike. But I'm just disappointed in it is because I was expecting more from it. I thought the trailer just looked absolutely my type of thing. Just looked like a comedic B type of comedic energy that they were delivering here. I'm a big fan of Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, but this movie just didn't really it didn't land near my excitement level when it came out. Because it is the most disappointing film that I've seen this year. But it's not because it's what it is right now. You know, it's not a dumpster fire to get through. But unfortunately, a lot of things that I didn't want to see in this film came true. Where it's, instead of it being all about the unicorns, it's about like this family trying to kill the unicorns, but instead the unicorns kill them. And then it's got stuff like Will Poulter like sniffing the unicorn powder, and it's just like, what are we doing here with this kind of stuff? And I do feel like the cast is the one that carries this film more often. Like, Jenna Ortega as Ridley is perfect for this film, and Paul Rudd's really good too. But unfortunately, everybody else I just didn't really care for at all. I did not like the dialogue they deliver here. And it's a movie that it's not the most rewatchable out of all of them. So Death of a Unicorn, pretty big disappointment. I was looking forward to it a lot, but it just didn't land near my goodness level of how much I wanted it to be. Number 9 is going to be Jordan Peele's Him. Now, he did not direct this film. He just produced it. The director is actually Justin Tipping, and this is a film that I actually wanted to love. I wanted it to be my favorite of the year. It was supposed to be this new genre of horror, of it being like sports themed. You got like Marlon Wayans and Tyreek Withers here. I should really enjoy this film. But unfortunately, I just ended up respecting it instead of enjoying it. It's a film that really needed a better story, and it is really unlike any film that I've seen. Now, it's all shot well, it's all freaking beautiful to look at, but unfortunately, the story is what is the biggest issue here. It's nearly style over substance here. You got some great performances in here, especially Marlon Wayans, who is almost Oscar-worthy here. And there's also no sports game to happen in this film. So that was definitely one of the biggest disappointments here. And like I said, it's a film that I do respect. I really liked what they were doing with it. But unfortunately, it just didn't land near what I wanted it to be. And instead, it was just this kind of generic, just like C- type of horror film. Number 8 is going to be Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, you would know I absolutely love Jurassic Park. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. And Gareth Edwards is definitely a very mixed director for me. I really like the creator, but some of his other stuff was just either mixed for me or just not my type of thing. And this should be my type of thing. I love the Jurassic Park movies. I love the second one. It's definitely a very dumb movie, but it gets entertaining at some parts too. Jurassic Park 3, I think it's the best of the franchise in my opinion. It's definitely a very overhated one. Jurassic World, I'm not as high on as everybody else says, but it's still good. And Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I think is the worst of the franchise, and I did not enjoy that film at all. And Jurassic World Dominion, hot take, I really enjoyed that film. Is it the best? No. But I liked what they were doing with it. And I really like how all the main cast members come back together. I go to these movies for dinosaur action and carnage. And that is what we almost get here. A lot of people may not agree with that. But for me, I got what I wanted out of Dominion, and I liked it. City stuff, yeah, it was full of it. Rebirth, however, is a very in the middle film. It's a film I do not hate, but it's definitely a film, when I look back on it, it's the one that I dislike the most, and it's one of the most disappointing films in that franchise. Now, I really like the cast members here: Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali and Jonathan Bailey. All of them are such great people in this film. But unfortunately, it's just another one of these Jurassic World films where it has a really stupid family that comes in and they basically ruin the entire thing. There's not enough stuff for me to like here. It gets really stupid at some parts. And yes, it's all shot very well. You can see it does have some of that Gareth Edwards scent in it. But unfortunately, it's just another Jurassic World film where it's not as terrible as Fallen Kingdom, but unfortunately, it's just like a 5 out of 10 film. So it's a film that I do not hate, but it's definitely one I would not want to go back to if I'm binging through this entire franchise. So not for me. Number 7 for me is going to be Happy Gilmore 2. Now, I love the original Happy Gilmore. It's one of my favorite Adam Sandler comedies of all time. And although I didn't really come close or really want a sequel or really need one either, I still was expecting a lot out of it because although I do know and understand that long-time comedy sequels do not have the best track record, I still was expecting a lot out of this film. I was expecting it to be funnier or as funny as the first one, with some really good dialogue and fun towards it, and a really good story too. But unfortunately, once again, it's another example of a long-time comedy sequel that just is generic, lazily written, stuff that pisses me off here, and it just adds in all of your favorite actors and singers and just cameos, all to make it a very bloated and messy film to try and make you like it. If you hate it as much as I did, they're not going to make you love it with all the amount of cameos that they have here. You got Margaret Qualley, Post Malone, Travis Kelce, Eminem, and freaking Ben Stiller back here. And you got the son of Chubbs here. I don't know what they were thinking here. Although I didn't come close to hating on it, it's still a very disappointing and just a very distasteful film that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth of comedies. And I just thought that comedies were just dead nowadays. Now, I know we've gotten a bunch of stuff like the Naked Gun reboot and Anaconda, which a lot of people hate. I love that film personally. This film, I do not love. It's another example of we don't need a sequel to great comedy legends like Dumb and Dumber, Zoolander, Anchorman, you name it. All of it. We're even getting a wedding scene or two. I don't know what Happy Madison is thinking here. I just want them to freaking move on, man. They've had 2 films this year that just did not impress me whatsoever. I'm just done with them. So, yeah, Happy Gilmore 2. Didn't hate it. Didn't like it either. Coming in at number 6 for me is going to be Edgar Wright's The Running Man. Now, I did enjoy this film, but it's easily his messiest film. Now, the first half of this film, I think, is, in my opinion, the best part of the film. But after Glenn Powell's character joins this character Amelia in her car, it just becomes a really big mess of a film where the pacing is off and the story just goes into a complete mess zone. And it just doesn't have any of that Edgar Wright sauce that I look for in a film. So like I said, it's still good, and I would still rewatch it out of the movies on this list. But unfortunately, it's a film that is just good, which kills me to say, because this is freaking Edgar Wright we're talking about. The guy that made Last Night in Soho and Baby Driver and a bunch of really awesome films. So yeah, this is one that I still like and would still love to rewatch out of all the movies on this list. Coming in at number 5 is basically the only film on this list that really breaks my heart to put on here, and that is Jason Statham's A Working Man. Now, I really enjoyed this film when I first saw it, and I thought, this is an action masterpiece. I loved every minute of it. Not a masterpiece, but whatever. I really enjoyed the film. It was Jason Statham's most exciting films that I've seen, and I just loved the exciting story and genre that it had in here. But unfortunately, I've started to really fall out of love with that film because on rewatch quality, it just doesn't do that great. The dialogue gets to a existential point to where it gets really goofy to watch, and the action is lackluster at best. And unfortunately, instead of it being an action thrill ride, it instead just becomes a really generic and lazily written film. Now, I still absolutely love Jason Statham, and I absolutely love The Beekeeper, but unfortunately, this film is just another example of an action movie that is just not that great. And it's like an example of a film that you can watch on a rainy day with your dad, just eat some Cool Ranch Doritos, and then you guys just like talk through the whole thing, and that's it. And then you just never remember it again. So yeah, it's a film that I used to like, but unfortunately, just like other stuff like Megan 2.0 and 28 Years Later, it's just started to not really do that great on rewatch quality. Coming in at number 4 is going to be the Russo brothers' Electric State. Now, I understand this is going to be on like everybody's number 1 worst of the year, but unfortunately, out of everyone here, I was expecting the most out of it. I am not a Russo brothers Netflix fan whatsoever. I hated every minute of Cherry. I actually like The Gray Man, but it's got a lot of issues. So I was expecting a lot with the Electric State. You got like Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown here, some really solid actors here. And like Giancarlo Esposito, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, just some really great actors here. But unfortunately, I just hated this fucking thing. Like, it made it on this list just because I was expecting a lot out of it, but it just bumped it down so far on this list. Now, it's a film that just gets so bogged down in terms of story and lore, and I really did not like the look of the characters in this film. The humans, like Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown, look normal, but when it comes to people like Mr. Peanut and the freaking Butcher, all of it just looks terrible. The technology stuff is not that interesting, and it's just a very generic and just poorly written film that is once again another Russo brothers dud. Number 3 is going to be a Minecraft movie. I hated this movie so much. I really wanted to put it on my worst of the year, but I know it was going to upset a lot of people, so I just added it on here just because I'm not a Minecraft fan whatsoever. And I don't know, I was expecting a little bit out of it. You got like Jack Black playing Steve here. You have Jason Momoa and Emma Myers in here, and just all of it here looks really interesting, but the trailers looked absolutely horrible. They looked just not like the right tone for Minecraft. The CGI looked horrendous, and then the brain rot stuff just gets so boring and just so freaking annoying to the point where you just want to leave the film. And that is still what is in here. It's stupid. It gets really dumb at sometimes, and we're freaking chicken jockey like. Grow up, people. I understand you guys might be Minecraft fans, but when it comes to like destroying an entire cinema and bringing in a fucking chicken from a farm, for God's sake, it's like, what are we doing here? Alright, just grow up. Find something else to do this in, because for a Minecraft movie, it has some of the worst discourse that I've seen too. And it's just like with Happy Gilmore too. Like, over a film like this, I don't know what we're doing here. I admit, like, I had a little bit of fun with Jason Momoa, but that's about it. I didn't think Emma Myers was that great in this film, and the red sweater kid I thought was so annoying, and then Steve was just like the most annoying out of here. I'm gonna the number 2 is gonna be Christy. Now, out of all the movies on this list, this is probably the one that I dislike the most on this list. I am not a Sydney Sweeney fan whatsoever. I just don't like her performances at all. And she's just an actress that I never really go back on at all. And all of her films, like she was in, like, I swear to Christ, she was in like 30 films this year. Like The Housemaid, Americana, Eden, for God's sake, just put another actress famous. Like McKenna Grace, she's doing very well. Like 2 of her films, like Five Nights at Freddy's and Regretting You, I did not like. But with Scream 7 and Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping on the way, she will do good in those films. Like, I have faith for her. Sydney Sweeney, I do not. So I don't like her at all. But I will say, this is easily her best performance yet. But the movie's not good at all. In fact, I would say I kind of hate it. It's a film that has very poor writing skills here. The boxing scenes are really the only good parts about it alongside Sydney's performance. Everything else is just not good. Like, it's not riveting, it's not funny or emotional. Like, it has a lot of issues. I will go through them a lot soon, but I'm just going to keep this short. Once again, I did not like this film at all, and that is why it is number 2 on this list, just because of how much I dislike Sydney Sweeney a lot as an actress. Easily in first place, the most disappointing film that I've seen this year, and that is Wicked for Good. I loved the first Wicked. It was such a big surprise for 2024. I'm not a musical fan whatsoever. I've only liked stuff like the Zombies films and The Greatest Showman, and that's basically about it. I don't really like the Wicked musical either. But that film really surprised me just because of the acting performances, the music, and all of it was just astounding to watch. I loved every minute of it. I thought Ariana Grande stole the show for me. I love her so much. But this film was just such a major step down. I would even say, like, it's easily the worst musical that I've seen in decades. It is not written well at all here. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are just messes here. Like, all of it is just not good to watch. The musical numbers are not as great. It's not written well. The dialogue sucks. I was not interested in the story at all. I thought what they did with the other Wizard of Oz characters was just terrible. I did not like other characters like the Tin Man here. I thought they were just annoying to watch. And it's just a film that is not greatly written at all. It has some really terrible stuff to it that pisses me off the most. And that really sucks because I was so looking forward to what they were going to do with the sequel. But, I mean, I will say what other people predicted it to be is that the first half, like what they said with other musicals, the first half is great and the second half is garbage. And that's exactly what they did with the Wicked stuff here. So, Wicked for Good is a film that I absolutely did not like whatsoever. It is easily the biggest disappointment that I saw of 2025, and that is why it is easily number 1 on this list.
That's going to be it for this one, guys. If you've enjoyed the rest of my content that I've been posting, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, like, and comment, and follow all my social media links, link in the description. Be sure to join my new Patreon that I just hooked up. I'm going to be posting comedy, drama, and I even posted my new podcast too called Ride or Die. I'll be linking that down below too. And if you want to watch more content, like I said, be sure to ring the bell. And thank you so much for watching.